What's going on, guys? 821 Mayo here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys another strategy guide. I know you guys have been asking for this series to kind of come back for a while now. I kind of took a break off of it. Wasn't doing too well on the channel, but hey, decided to give it another shot. So today we are going to be going over the kids' dorms bomb site on Oregon. I'm going to be talking about some misplays on this map in terms of utility and positioning, why you need to position yourself in specific areas, why you need to have utility in specific areas. Now, before we actually jump into the video, I quickly want to mention that 45% of you guys aren't subscribed. So if you guys have not hit that sub button already, I would greatly appreciate the support. It also helps out for the YouTube algorithm. And I also want to say that I'm doing coaching, so if you guys are interested in that, all of your questions can be answered by clicking the link to my coaching, by going to my Patreon below. There's a link to it in the description. And I also want to say that I released this strat early, so as you guys are seeing this video is coming out on the Monday of February 2021, and I released this strat on the Saturday of February 2021. So this strat and this whole concept and all of the thoughts and everything, I typed it out. I made the entire strat. I'm actually looking at it right now. But I made everything and I put it out on my Patreon for all of my Patreon subscribers. So if you guys are interested in kind of getting early access to content like this or something else, make sure you guys go check that out. I'm also going to be reviewing Pro League VODs and kind of giving my thoughts on them. So a little bit different than reviewing viewer VODs. I'm going to do it with Pro League VODs. So if you guys are interested in that and just my thoughts and possibly why a Pro League player does this and does that and does whatever it is to my knowledge, go check out the Patreon. And if you guys just want coaching in general, there's a link to it in the description. But with all of that being said, let's jump into the video. All right, so kind of moving west to east. We're going to start out with this reinforcement and these holes and the other hole in kids here. So the reason this wall is reinforced is just to cut off the line of sight from the big window. You know, people prefer different sides. You know, play around with it, see what you like. They both give and take different advantages and disadvantages. So with the wall being reinforced on the right side, it cuts off the line of sight into the rotate into attic. And if the left side of the wall is reinforced, then you can play on the kid's door here, which is usually a pretty common place to play. It's kind of right around this area where I'm standing now. So they both have their advantages and disadvantages. Play around with it, see what you like, see what you don't like. And the floor holes here are pretty much just for the window, jump in and cross. So, you know, if anyone ever needs to, or if an attacker rather ever jumps into the window and tries to sprint across, you know, the person playing kids can deal with that guy. And then we also have this hole here, so this is the dining door. This is a very simple hole to make, but can be very effective, could lead to a kill during a game. So definitely slap this hole down during your defense on kids and dorms and see where it goes. If it gets a kill, then good job. But if it doesn't, then, you know, it is what it is. You know, just, it wouldn't hurt to try to put the hole here. Then we're talking about the attic rotate here and also the reinforcement. So some of the time you might see this wall unreinforced, but a lot of people don't really know how to play around it. And the reason I kind of figured this out is because when I used to play comp, a lot of the times, you know, someone will go in the kids window and you can actually get an angle from kids rappel into games, like, or sorry, not games, but closed trophy doors. So if you're playing right around this area, that guy in kids rappel can see you and kill you. So you know, that's why that wall is reinforced, and also just to cut off some other basic lines of sight. And then, you know, we have the basic attic reinforcements, nothing really too special there. And then also the attic hatch is open, which is going to play into a Malusi later on. And then the trophy wall is also reinforced. So as you can kind of tell so far, this is more or less a turtle strat. And then we also have the white rotate there as well. So far, so basic, nothing really too advanced or complicated or anything. Basic reinforcements, basic rotates, basic lines of sight. Now, most of the time when you're playing this bomb site, you're going to have around 2 reinforcements to play around with. You're never really going to need all 10 on site unless you're doing something very specific for a reason. If you're like holding meeting, you might need 4 downstairs, 2 for the split wall, and then 2 for the stage. If you're holding kitchen, you might need some reinforcements, which can eat up these 2 that I'm about to show here. But, you know, reinforcing the armory wall. So why do you reinforce this wall? Well, because as an attacker, if you go and rappel in the armory window, you can get a line of sight over the little armory stack here, this gun storage cabinet. You can actually shoot these wooden boxes out, get on rappel, and you can get a line of sight right around that area to the trophy door, near satellite door. So this sat window here, you know, right around this area, you can get an angle over the storage cabinet in armory and actually cut off the door rotation. And then also this reinforcement here is just here for anyone trying to challenge the main stairs. But the person who's going to be playing trophy in the beginning of the round is able to play this area from somewhat safety. As you saw there, you know, they can still be shot from the sat window, which is important to look out for whoever is playing trophy. But nonetheless, you can hold this cross here, also play trophy, shoot any drones that come through master, and then retreat and go play your position that you are designated to play. But other than that, you know, the reinforcements, the kill holes, and all that stuff is pretty basic. Now, as for Smoke and his utility placement and his positioning, as you can see already, my shield is placed here. Now, this shield is very, very, very important. This is overlooked by a lot of players, so, you know, if you've ever played this map competitively, I'm sure you've seen the shield time and time again. Even in ranked, it's also here. But placing it in a specific location is very important. So, as you can see, it's kind of parallel or aligned with the 90 corner outside of the kids' door. And the reason for this is because most of the time, if they're going to be taking trophy control, they're also going to be taking generator wall control, right? So in order to conceal you from the players playing trophy side, and you know the gen wall might be open and you need to contest this or hold an angle on it, you have this shield as cover from the trophy door, but you can still contest the breach here. So, you know, a shield is mobile cover. It's very important and strong piece of utility in the game right now. So use this shield to your advantage, because a lot of the times, you know, I'll see a shield placed like around here, like closer to the door. But as you can see, I'm unable to challenge the breach. So an attacker can just come through the breach and then go plant default, right? And I can't do anything about it from this position. Now, as I was saying, this shield and its positioning is really important, how you actually place it. Now, there is a downside to placing the shield here. So as you can see, the floor holes, if you guys are unaware of what you're looking at, so this right here is the classroom door, and this over here is Z hallway. So this is like right around there is the freezer door, and this is the Z hallway coming from lobby over there. So as an attacker, what you're able to do is kind of run into lobby, and then, you know, be able to shoot an Ash charge or Zofia impact towards Z, like right around this corner here. And you know, you'll get the shield. It's obviously right there. So just a little rule of thumb, if you are going to place that shield there and play off of it, be careful of that, because if they bring a sledge or any nade operator, they might throw a nade well cooked, and you know, you're dead here for the most part. Or at least you're going to take a lot of damage as well, if not die. But you know, just be careful of what the attackers can do to counter your utility. But I think it's worth it for what you get by having the cover from the trophy door, but still being able to contest the breach at all times. Now, I want to talk about Smoke and his positioning in specific and where he should be using utility. So, as a Smoke player, a good rule of thumb to apply to your positioning as Smoke is try to be in the most versatile area you can be in. And what I mean by versatile is how many different ways can your smoke canisters be applied to these different positions. So, if we look at how the map is engineered, the entry points and the choke points for the attackers of where they're going to be coming from is most likely attic, most likely big window jump in right, most likely gen, white, and also trophy. And by you playing kids and playing up the shield here as well, you're able to smoke off all of these areas. And also what you're able to do as Smoke is you're able to smoke through the wall here. So if you guys don't know how smoke canisters work and kind of the mechanic behind it and how to smoke through the wall, you have to throw it on the floor. It cannot be on the wall, there, or there. It has to be on the floor. Because as a smoke canister detonates, it blooms the opposite direction of whatever surface it is attached to. So, as you can see, it's attached to the floor, so it's going to detonate and bloom the opposite direction of wherever the floor is. So, obviously, the floor is down, so it's going to bloom up and out, right? So, it has a dome effect, so to speak. And if I detonate the smoke canister here, you can see that it covers all of the window jump in. And this is going to tie in later to a piece of barbed wire that we're going to place here. So even as the smoke player, if they get rid of this barb, you know, you're going to hear it by the explosive detonating, or you're going to hear them jump in, start smacking the barb or walking through it, and then, you know, you playing kids here can throw down the smoke canister really fast, smoke this guy off, deal probably 30 damage, maybe even 45, before he's able to reach his destination. And then that'll also give you time to play off the footholds here and go prone, do whatever you need to do, challenge this guy, right? But, you know, smoking the big window through the wall is very influential and impactful for the round. That's what I mean by smoke's canisters being applicable and influential in multiple different situations and areas. So, you know, I can play up the shield, also smoke off the gen breach. I can smoke off white, top white stairs. If the rotate was here, you know, I can throw a smoke canister into attic. I can also smoke the trophy door. So you have all of these different areas just by playing kids and off the shield here. So it's important as a smoke player to think about your positioning. Where are the attackers going to come from? And if they come from this area or that area, whichever side of the map it is, try to position yourself in a safe position, but still be able to apply your smoke canisters in as many different positions as you can. So that way, you know, you're just in a ready position to use them to your advantage as well as your team's. So that is why Smoke is going to be playing kids for the most part. He can move around, you know, he can still play off the shield here, as I was saying earlier. He can also maybe go into attic if the attic player needs any support and smoke that off. Grab 10 seconds of time with a smoke canister from the push or whatever it is. But for the most part, in my opinion, I think Smoke should be playing kids. Again, he can rotate around as much as he needs, but this is going to be his hub, his home for the majority of the round. All right, and now I want to talk about our next operator, which is going to be Jaeger, about his positioning and utility placement and just overall what he should be trying to accomplish during the round. The way that I have this kind of laid out in front of you guys is Jaeger is going to be playing trophy area because most of the time, I would say like 7 out of 10 attacking rounds for kids in dorms, it's going to be a split take, and what I mean by split take is a portion of the attackers taking generator side, master side, and armory top main stairs, and then the rest of the attackers are going to be trying to take attic control. So playing positions and kind of shooting drones and falling back is always a really good thing to do, because you're denying information for pretty much no risk, and especially in an area like this where there's not much risk, it's, you know, take advantage of that is what I'm trying to say here. So as Jaeger, no, he can cut off the master door rotation, and also don't forget about the just for the sake of the example, don't forget about the floor holes here, the footholes. So as you can see, the barbed wire here. So it's here for 2 reasons. One, it's for anyone who tries to kind of walk up the staircase. As you can see, the reinforcement will be right here. So in order for them to peek through the master door, they're going to have to touch the barbed wire, which will notify the Jaeger playing trophy, right? If any attacker tries to come through armory, they will also have to break the barbed wire, right? So, you know, being cautious of these angles as the Jaeger is important, but also this barbed wire and breaking it is a great piece of information. And you can argue that there should also be barbed wire in the window, but I disagree, because you're not playing to hold this position. You're playing this position to shoot a couple drones and then fall back to the original position where you're going to be playing for the rest of the round. So that's why I don't have any barb here, because you have the audio cues of the glass as well as the barricade breaking. So as a Jaeger, you should be positioned somewhere around here. You can peek from complete safety to the master door, shoot the drones. You can also extend out here, shoot any drone, shoot any feet that you see in armory. And then also you have the barricade if it wasn't broken for the audio cues. So even if someone does come to sat window, you know, if you're playing around this position a little bit extended, you're going to hear the barricade break and then just fall back a little bit. And then once you hear the barricade completely break or, you know, hit twice, then you can fall back, maybe hold an angle and just jump in or whatever it is. But Jaeger's primarily going to be playing this position for, you know, shooting the drones and then falling back, which his primary position is going to be an attic. Now, as you can see, you have 2 ADSs in support of you. So, you know, if you're going to be playing this area, attic is a pretty heavy utility dump area for an attacker. So having these 2 ADSs really supports the Jaeger in a safety net kind of way, in case, you know, if they try to nade him out or dump flashes or Candela him out, you know, he's going to have these 2 steps, which are the ADSs, which the attackers are going to have to burn before he actually is faced with any threat in terms of utility, again, a nade or a Candela or a flash, right? So, you know, these ADSs are important and why they are there. And then also this ADS is really important, especially its positioning. So a lot of the time, you know, you'll see someone place an ADS right around here. And now the reason you don't want to do this is because, I don't know why, but people seem to forget that, you know, ADSs are important, right? So I can shoot this ADS completely fine. Now if I go grab another ADS and place it where I originally had it on the trophy door, you'll see why it's so important that you place it here. There's 2 reasons really. So firstly, if I go back into trophy, you can see obviously that I am unable to shoot the ADS. I can't even see the blue light emitting from it. So if I even ping this, there's no way I can shoot this. From playing the door here, I'm gonna have to swing in and get it. And also the gen window. So if you place an ADS like right around here where it was previously, you know, the person on Gen window is going to be able to shoot this. But here, they're not going to be able to shoot it because of the hard wall here. So you're cutting off 2 major lines of sight where, you know, an ADS, which is very important, can just easily be shot with 1 bullet. You never want the ADSs or magnets to just be able to be shot. Because in this game, it's about utility trade. And especially with ADSs where, in theory, they can have an infinite amount of charges. If they stay alive and are placed properly, it can be a huge benefit for you and your team. So it's important with ADSs and magnets and just really influential utility like this that you place it properly. Because I say it all the time, it literally could be the difference of a teammate being naded or yourself being naded. That's a difference between a man living or a man dying on your team. So be very cautious with how you place the ADSs. And then his last set of barb is going to be a big window jump in. So as I was saying when I was about smoking through the wall, you know, whoever is going to be playing outside of big window as an attacker, if they do decide to jump in, they're going to be slowed, or they're going to have to break the barbed wire or use an explosive on it, which is also a great utility trade. You know, an explosive for a piece of barbed wire is pretty decent, in my opinion at least. So this smoke player that's going to be playing kids, once they hear this barbed wire kind of shelf floor start to get broke, they can run over, throw the smoke canister on the other side of the wall, smoke this guy out. He's either going to be forced to jump back outside or commit to the angle, which is also going to lead the smoke to getting pretty much a freebie because he has the footholds here again. So he can smoke off, go prone. If the attacker commits in, smoke pretty much shoots his cankles off and he's unconscious, right? So it's all about setting yourself up for success, which is also another topic that I'm going to go over later on with our wall denial operator, which is going to be Cade. So stick around for that. His Cade placements are very, very, very important. Arguably just as important as this ADS, or even more important. But yeah, that's pretty much Jaeger, his positioning utility, and why he's kind of playing these areas and stuff like that. Also, I forgot to mention that Jaeger's playing Attic because a lot of the times Attic is a pretty high pressure area in terms of utility as well as man count from the attackers. So if they want to take this area, they're going to take it. So that's why Jaeger's here, because if Jaeger dies compared to the other operators like Smoke or Cade, you know, you're not really losing as much versus the other operators. With Jaeger, you're losing a man count and a gun. That's about it, because Jaeger's utility is place it and forget it, right? So that's why Jaeger's here. He also has a really good gun to support him in this area, to kind of push or keep the attackers at bay. So there's a few reasons, and those reasons are very important as to why Jaeger's playing here. All right, and now the next operator I want to talk about is going to be our info operator slash anti-wall denial operator, I guess you could say, or impact trick operator, is going to be Maestro. So firstly, let's go over his utility placement, more specifically his Maestro cam. So obviously Maestro has 2 cams, and the first one, I'm going to show this one just because it is a little bit more difficult to place. So if you guys don't know how to get up here or get boosted on the little dresser here in kids, all you really have to do is just destroy all of the objects up here, and then it's just pretty much as simple as finding the vault prompt on the corner and then getting up here, looking up, and then placing down the utility, right? That's a very good Maestro cam because it cuts off the attic swamp area, so like pit, swamp, whatever you want to call it. It cuts that off, so you know, if any attacker drops, you get clear line of sight of that. You also get a little bit of line of sight through to the dorms. So as you can see, these holes weren't here when I was playing Smoke, but I did add them as Maestro. This is always an option, so you can kind of put a little tiny strip up at the top and then footholds at the bottom as well. Or you could just make a rotate here. Again, this wall is very flexible in how you want to play it, which side you want to reinforce. If you want to have a rotate, line of sight, footholds, head holes like this where you can see the cross. But, Maestro should be, like, switching between these 2 areas, giving information on the crosses, because attic is very important, information-wise, and so is big window cross. So, if you don't see anyone across, then that means that they are pretty much anywhere from where you don't see to the right? So, it's important to pick up on that. And then also his other Maestro cam is going to be on the little attic wall just outside of the attic door here, or not attic wall, rather, just outside of the attic door. And this is here to cut off the trophy walk-in as well as the gen breach. So if I place it right around here, you get clear information on both of these areas. And then also, if you are unable to kind of see into attic and you're forced to put your Maestro cam here because they open gen and they're also pushing trophy, then, just turn this Maestro cam to the left and you see the pit drop, right? So you have clear information on all of the fronts of where the attackers are coming from, which is super important. And also these Maestro cams, to an extent, this one is much easier to destroy, but the one on kids, a little bit harder to destroy because you have to expose yourself as an attacker in order to get it. But this one in trophy, looking into trophy, it's pretty easy to get as an attacker. You Zo impact it, whatever, burn the ADS here and then get it. But, you know, that's if they want to get a piece of utility as an attacker, they're going to get it. And then lastly, Maestro's positioning and what he's going to be doing during the round. So if any of you watch my live stream on Twitch, you know that I love impact tricking this spot. And if you guys don't watch my stream, hey, come stop by. I love chatting with you guys. But nonetheless, this spot here, you know, I live for this spot, so to speak. And if you guys don't know how to impact trick it, I covered this in my recent tip video of 20 plus impact tricks. If you guys have not watched that impact trick video, I guarantee you there are going to be some impact tricks that you guys have absolutely no idea that were in the game. I promise you, there's going to be at least one. So go check it out. But nonetheless, if you guys don't know how to impact trick it, I'll give you guys a quick rundown. And if you guys want a much more in-depth explanation, you know, the full video is up on my channel. Just, you know, 20 plus impact tricks. Go to my channel, find it. It might be linked in the description as well. Who knows? But nonetheless, to impact trick this wall, you kind of want to put your dot or crosshair on the little line or edge of the actual light bulb on the fan in classroom. So the dot that you have when you pull out the impact, pretty much just slap it there. That gets any utility on the other side, whether that be an ace charge, Hibana, thermite, whatever it is. Now, it's important as you impact trick this to not prematurely throw your impact, because some of the time the attackers might slip up, whether it's an ace or Hibana, and more specifically, where they put 2 of their sets of hard breach utility on, and since you only have 2 impacts, you're only able to get 1 set each time, right? So you're only able to get a minimum or maximum of 2 or 6 X-Kairos pellets from Hibana, or you're only able to get a minimum of 1 or maximum 3 ace Selma charges. So some of the time, the attackers might slip up. Let's just say it's an ace for the sake of this example. He throws down 2 Selma charges. Well, that's excellent, because if I had 2 impacts still, I would throw my first one, right? He is now only down to 1, so he either has to choose to use it on this wall, which he most likely will, which is also fine, because he's playing into you, since you still have the last impact. You hit that last impact, and then bam. No hard breach utility from ace. You got all of it from 2 impacts. Great job done by you. Or, you know, the ace can choose to open the attic wall there. That's also a very common thing to do. Kind of smoke this area off or flash it and then open the attic wall from trophy. You know, just to kind of put some more pressure on the attic player. But nonetheless, you know, try to kind of bait it out a little bit, because whenever they X-Kairos or ace the wall, it's not going to detonate immediately, right? Like, you still have a fuse time to play with and kind of wait out just to listen to audio cues. And if you hear those 2 Selmas go down, definitely throw your second impact. Bam. You've now dealt with all 3 Selma charges, which is an excellent job. And if they ever place it on the right side of the wall, from your perspective, this is the right. If they ever place it on the right side, you can just throw the impact, which is much easier to do than this one on the light bulb. You just throw it on the back edge of the top of the shelf there. And then also this hole here is very important, because you can play off the audio cue of the classroom. So I'm sure if any of you guys are like in gold 1 or above elo, you'll most likely see an Ash or Zofia go to the classroom window, try to get rid of the mute jammer or the band of batteries off the wall, which is completely fine. But, you know, you shouldn't be worrying about classroom until you see or hear this barricade completely break, because you have the audio cues. Similar to the Sat, Window, and Jaeger playing trophy and shooting the drones and then falling back, you have these audio cues of these barricades, right? So until you hear this barricade completely break or open or whatever it is, you should be holding the lobby walk-in. Right around here, this is a super strong angle for you, because not only is it at a diagonal angle through the metal bars, so it makes it really hard for them to hit, but also you're elevated, and you also have the couch as cover. Now, they can wallbang this, but they're going to probably be reacting to what they can see, right? So if you put an Alda here, like,